Hey guys, this is Thomas over here at nursemoneytalk.com, and in this video I'm actually going to go over a viewer question that I got. You can probably guess, of course, based on the title, that it has to do with how to navigate trying to get a job, but all these jobs want experience, but in order to get experience, you need a job. But let's go ahead and take a step back and let me actually read the question. This is from Margaret Jales 9912, and the question asks, how can you get experience if no one wants to hire you without experience? And it was on a video where I talked about the best jobs for new grad nurses, and you can definitely check it out. I'll put a link to it up there, and also it'll be in the descriptions below. The first thing that I would recommend when it comes to trying to get a job with no experience is try to avoid situations where you're essentially applying cold turkey, right? Where nobody knows who you are. And sometimes this is unavoidable, but whenever you can, try to avoid this situation. This then relates back to the primary and probably one of, if not the most important tip I can give you when it comes to this particular situation, which is to network. Network, network, network. You can do this a multitude of ways, right? And so one of the ways that has helped me was either joining a professional nursing organization. Now, if you are not a nurse yet, there are like the nursing student organizations, but the point is you want to join a club, organization, whatever, where you can expand your reach, right? Your ability to be able to know more people. But it's really crucial to be in the professional organizations that relates to, of course, nursing, because that is the job that you're trying to get. The next tip is network with your nursing school faculties who they're generally older nurses. Many of them have been nurses for a really long time. They tend to be very well connected. A lot of that being that because they've been teachers for a long time, they've had a lot of students that have graduated that are out there working, many of whom are now managers, some of them that they'll actually keep in touch with. The next tip that I have for you in terms of trying to get a job with no experience is when you're in nursing school, try to get a part-time job in either ideally the department, but if not in the department, but at least in the facility you want to work in. You might be wondering, what does this look like? Let's say you're trying to get your RN licensure. You want to get a job in, let's say, the general hospital that's across the street, the big institution there, and you want to work in their neuro ICU. What you should do, or at least what I would do, and I kind of did something similar, is I would try to see if that department, or at least if that facility has a nurse externship program, at least try to get in as a tech, something to where in the best case scenario is you are able to get a job in that neuro ICU that you want to be in as a tech. And what this means is you already have your one foot in the door. This then gives you access to the department. It gives you access to the staff that works there, to the managers. And it helps you decide, first of all, do I even want to be here? Do I want to work amongst these group of nurses? Is the culture in this department the culture I want to be around? Do I want to work for this particular manager? These are all the things that you can find out just by getting a job there. The other thing that's really nice is you'll actually get first dibs at a job. Many times whenever employers put up for a job position, sometimes it becomes available first to the internal hires before it becomes available to external hires. One last thing about working this part-time job, whether it is you end up working for the same manager in the department that you're in, or you go to another department in the same facility, you have to consider this like a very extended, long interview, because that is pretty much what it is. While you're there, the staff, even if it doesn't seem like they're watching you, they're going to be taking note. How hard does this person work? How pleasant are they? Are they helpful? Are they this? Are they that? Are they argumentative? And so when it comes time for you to start potentially get hired in that department, you don't want to be a situation where now you have other nurses there telling the nurse manager, you can't hire this person. You can't hire this person because of X, Y, and Z. The best thing, the best case scenario that you want is for when it comes time for you to get that job, you already have nurses there who are telling the nurse manager, hey, I hope you know this person about to graduate. You better pick them up. Like, you need to get them on board, like open a position, whatever you need to do. You can't let this one walk. They are too good. They're too helpful. They've been here for a year. They already know the system. One person might be like, man, I practically trained this person already. So you might as well get them over here. The next tip is really consider going for the less popular specialty. I know so many nursing students, there are certain specialties that they don't want to work in, or certain general fields they don't want to work in, but then they all want to go into like these, I mentioned like the neuro ICU, transplant ICU, cardiac ICU, whatever, specialty ICU, or even like surgery or NICU, whatever the case may be. So many people will want to get into those hard specialties. And the thing is those specialties, they can be very competitive and very difficult for a new nurse to get in, even for a nurse with experience. So what I would encourage you to do is, if you're a new nurse, try to go get a job in the, if you want to call it, the less sexy field, or the field that whatever in your particular area is not in high demand, has a more vacancy. Try to go do that, because as a new nurse, I think one of the most important things for you to start getting some kind of experience underneath your belt. If you are a nurse with experience trying to get into a new field, or a new grad nurse, this could also apply to you. What I would then encourage you is try to get into a field that is closest to whatever field you want to get into. So maybe you want to do, I don't know, cardiac ICU, but that's really competitive to get in. But maybe there's like maybe there's like a step down in that particular department or that particular facility that caters specifically to the cardiac patients. At times, it's just about getting yourself one step closer to where you want to be at. Because with no experience, it might be very difficult for you to get to your final destination, to that place where you really, really, really want to be. All right, so my last point is, when you are applying and you're filling out the documents, you're sending in the resumes, please, please, please make sure that there is no obviously glaring mistakes on it, because that doesn't look good for a multitude of reasons. I've made other videos on this topic, so I'm not going to belabor these particular points. You can check out those videos or articles on nursemoneytalk.com. But when you do get called in for an interview, make sure you follow proper interviewing etiquettes. Make sure you prepare for the interview. Give yourself as much of an opportunity as possible. Also, something to keep in mind when it comes to talking about your experience, either in a resume or in an interview, is that even though you might not have any nursing experience, or you have no experience in that particular nursing specialty, you potentially do have some experience, right? And so ideally what you want to do is you want to highlight jobs or skill sets you gained that could be transferable to nursing. And even if it's not transferable to nursing. Maybe it can be a benefit to that particular department. Maybe it's something you can highlight that then you can say goes along with whatever the mission that facility values.